Let's get straight to the point. Dealing with people who don't respect you is exhausting, frustrating, and sometimes even painful. Whether it's a coworker who constantly undermines you, a so-called friend who belittles your achievements, or even a family member who dismisses your feelings, disrespect can shake your confidence and make you question your worth. Trust me, I've been there. I know what it's like to feel small, unheard, and unappreciated. But here's the reality: you don't have to tolerate it. Respect isn't given freely to those who stay silent. It's earned by those who demand it. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. No sugarcoating. No feel-good but useless advice. Just real, practical strategies that will help you stand your ground, command respect, and take control of your life. If you're tired of being walked all over, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have the confidence and strategies to deal with anyone who dares to disrespect you. Let's dive in. 1. Set clear boundaries. The first and most important step is setting firm, non-negotiable boundaries. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you let them cross the line without consequences, they'll keep doing it. For example, if a friend constantly interrupts you, say, "I value respect in conversations. I need you to let me finish speaking." It might feel uncomfortable at first, but enforcing your boundaries will earn you long-term respect. Personal story: I used to let people push me around, thinking being nice would make them respect me. Spoiler alert, it didn't. It wasn't until I clearly set limits that I saw a change. When you define your boundaries, people either respect them or they leave. Either way, you win. 2. Don't engage in power struggles. People who disrespect you often thrive on drama and power dynamics. They want a reaction. They want to make you feel small. The moment you engage emotionally, they win. Instead, remain calm, composed, and indifferent. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Next time someone disrespects you, don't argue. Instead, say something neutral like, "Noted," or just walk away. When they see they can't get a reaction, they lose their power over you. 3. Limit your exposure to them. Sometimes, the best way to handle disrespect is to remove yourself from their influence. You might not be able to cut them off completely, especially if they're a colleague or family member. But you can control how much time and energy they take up in your life. If it's a toxic coworker, limit interactions to only what's necessary. If it's a negative family member, create emotional distance and engage only when needed. Your peace of mind is priceless. Protect it. 4. Respond with silence. Not every insult deserves a response. Silence is powerful. It makes people uncomfortable and forces them to reflect on their words. The next time someone disrespects you, pause, take a deep breath, and say nothing. Watch them squirm in the awkward silence. It sends a strong message: their words aren't worth your energy. 5. Don't take it personally. Here's the harsh truth: disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Many people lash out due to their own insecurities and frustrations. The moment you stop taking their words personally, you free yourself from their control. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Instead of internalizing their negativity, remind yourself, their actions reflect their character, not my worth. 6. Use assertive body language. How you carry yourself influences how people treat you. Slouching, avoiding eye contact, or speaking softly can make you an easy target. Stand tall. Maintain eye contact. Speak clearly and with conviction. When you look confident, people are less likely to disrespect you. 7. Call them out when necessary. Sometimes silence isn't enough. If someone continually disrespects you, address it head on. Say something like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to that way," or, "Please don't interrupt me when I'm talking." You don't have to be rude, but you do need to be firm. When you stand up for yourself, you teach people how to treat you. 8. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the best move is to remove yourself entirely. No argument, no drama. Just leave. If someone continuously disrespects you despite your best efforts, cut ties if possible. Your mental and emotional health are more important than maintaining toxic relationships. 9. Surround yourself with supportive people. The people around you influence your self-esteem and mindset. Surround yourself with friends, mentors, and colleagues who uplift and respect you. As Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Choose your circle wisely. 10. Know your worth and stay true to yourself. At the end of the day, self-respect starts from within. If you respect yourself, you won't tolerate disrespect from others. Repeat after me. I deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. If someone can't give you that, it's your right, no, your responsibility, to protect your peace. Set clear boundaries. Take control of how you are treated. Setting clear, firm, and non-negotiable boundaries is not just about avoiding disrespect. It's about defining the standard for how you allow others to treat you. If you don't set boundaries, people will set them for you. Think about it. If someone disrespects you once and you say nothing, what message are you sending? You're telling them it's okay. And guess what? They'll do it again. Disrespect is often not a one-time event. It's a pattern that continues until you decide to stop it. A boundary is not just about what you don't allow, but also about what you expect. It's a clear, confident communication of your standards and a promise to yourself that you will uphold them. Boundaries are not about controlling others, they're about controlling yourself. You're setting the rules for your own emotional well-being. Instead of assuming people will get the hint, be direct and assertive. If a colleague constantly interrupts you, don't just tolerate it, speak up, backhand index pointing right. I appreciate your input, but I'd like to finish my point before we move on. A friend keeps making jokes at your expense, address it, backhand index pointing right. I know you think it's funny, but I don't appreciate being joked about like that. When you communicate your boundaries clearly and without apology, you train people on how to treat you. I used to believe that being overly accommodating would make people respect me more. I thought that if I avoided confrontation, people would eventually recognize my kindness and reciprocate. Spoiler alert, they didn't. What actually happened? People took advantage of my silence. The more I let things slide, the more they walked all over me. It wasn't until I started drawing a line, clearly and firmly, that I noticed a shift. Don't engage in power struggles. Take back your control. People who thrive on disrespect, manipulation, and power dynamics have one goal: to provoke a reaction. They want you to get defensive, to argue, to lose your cool, because the moment you do, they've won. Think about the last time someone disrespected you. Maybe a coworker made a snide remark, a family member belittled your achievements, or a so-called friend mocked your ideas. How did you respond? Did you try to defend yourself? Did you raise your voice, trying to win the argument? If so, you played right into their hands. Why engaging in power struggles makes you lose. Engaging with toxic people is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, the pigeon will knock over the pieces, strut around like it won, and leave a mess behind. People who habitually disrespect others aren't looking for truth or resolution, they're looking for dominance. When you engage emotionally, you let them dictate the conversation, the tone, and the outcome. This is why remaining calm and detached is your greatest weapon. The power of indifference. When you refuse to react, you send a clear message. Your words do not affect me. That frustrates them. They expect you to fight back, to justify yourself, to break down, but when you don't, they lose control over the situation. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This means you cannot control what people say or do, but you can control how you respond. How to handle disrespect without engaging. First, stay neutral. Instead of arguing, use short, disengaging responses like, "That's your opinion." Noted. Interesting. Second, do not match their energy. If they raise their voice, lower yours. If they get aggressive, stay calm. This throws them off balance. Third, walk away if needed. Sometimes, the best response is no response. If the conversation is going nowhere, exit the situation without explanation. Not every battle is worth fighting. When you master emotional control, you take back your power, and that's something no disrespectful person can take from you. Limit your exposure to them, protect your energy. One of the most effective ways to handle disrespect is to remove yourself from the source. Not every battle needs to be fought, and not every person deserves access to your time and energy. If someone consistently disrespects you, the best move is often to limit your exposure to them. But what if cutting them off completely isn't an option? Maybe they're a colleague you have to work with daily, a family member you see at gatherings, or a longtime acquaintance who is deeply intertwined with your social circle. The good news is, even if you can't eliminate their presence, you can minimize their influence. Why exposure matters. Your mental energy is like a battery. Every interaction either charges it or drains it. When you constantly expose yourself to people who belittle, dismiss, or disrespect you, you're allowing them to deplete your energy reserves. Over time, this can lead to frustration, resentment, and even self-doubt. But here's the key: you have control over how much space they occupy in your life. How to reduce exposure without conflict. At work, if it's a toxic coworker, keep interactions strictly professional. Engage only when necessary, stick to work-related topics, and avoid personal conversations. Don't give them access to your emotions or reactions. With family, if it's a family member who constantly disrespects you, create emotional boundaries. Be polite, but keep conversations surface level. If you know certain topics will lead to conflict, steer clear of them. Engage only when absolutely necessary, and prioritize your well-being. In social circles, if it's a so-called friend who drains you, start creating gradual distance. Decline unnecessary invitations, take longer to respond to messages, and shift your focus to people who uplift and support you. The power of quiet distance. You don't always have to make a big announcement about cutting someone off. Often, the most effective strategy is simply removing yourself from their orbit without confrontation. Over time, the less access they have to you, the less power they have over your mood, your confidence, and your peace of mind. At the end of the day, your inner peace is priceless. Guard it fiercely. 4. Respond with silence. Master the art of non-reaction. Not every insult, provocation, or rude comment deserves a response. In fact, one of the most powerful ways to handle disrespect is by saying absolutely nothing. Silence is not a sign of weakness, it is a statement of control. It shows that you refuse to let someone else's words dictate your emotions or reactions. Disrespectful people often thrive on drama. They want to get under your skin, provoke a reaction, and pull you into an emotional battle where they hold the upper hand. But when you remain silent, you deny them the satisfaction. You strip them of their power. Why silence is so powerful? It creates discomfort for the other person. People expect reactions. They expect you to defend yourself, argue back, or get flustered. When you give them nothing, no anger, no frustration, not even acknowledgement, it leaves them unsettled. That silence becomes louder than any words you could say. It shows confidence and emotional maturity. Responding emotionally gives away your power. Staying silent communicates that their words mean nothing to you. It signals strength, composure, and self-respect. You don't need to defend yourself to someone who doesn't respect you in the first place. It forces them to reflect on their words. Silence creates space. When you refuse to engage, it forces the other person to sit with their own words. They may start questioning themselves, wondering why you didn't react the way they expected. Over time, this can make them reconsider their behavior. How to use silence effectively. Pause before reacting. The next time someone disrespects you, don't immediately fire back. Instead, take a deep breath, hold eye contact, and say nothing. Let them feel the weight of the silence. Use nonverbal communication. A raised eyebrow, a slow exhale, or simply walking away can send a stronger message than words ever could. Know when to walk away. Silence doesn't mean staying in a toxic situation. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to disengage completely and leave the conversation. Don't take it personally. Detach and protect your inner peace. Disrespect is rarely about you. It's about them, their insecurities, their frustrations, and their own internal battles. People who belittle, criticize, or undermine others often do so because of unresolved issues within themselves. But here's the problem: when you take their words personally, you absorb their negativity. You allow their words to affect your emotions, self-esteem, and sense of worth. And that's exactly what they want: to have control over how you feel. The moment you stop taking their disrespect personally, you free yourself from their influence. You shift from reacting emotionally to responding with wisdom and detachment. Why you should never internalize disrespect. People project their own insecurities. When someone disrespects you, they are often reflecting their own fears and weaknesses onto you. If a colleague constantly belittles your ideas, it may be because they feel threatened by your competence. If a family member dismisses your achievements, it may be because they regret not pursuing their own dreams. Their criticism is not a reflection of your worth, it's a mirror of their own struggles. Emotional detachment equals mental strength. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This means you have the final say in how much power you give to someone's words. The strongest people are not those who never face criticism, but those who know how to separate external negativity from their internal self-worth. Reframing the situation changes everything. Instead of thinking, "Why are they treating me like this?" ask yourself, "What does this say about them?" This simple mental shift takes the focus away from you and places it where it belongs, on the person being disrespectful. How to stop taking things personally. Pause before reacting. When someone says something hurtful, don't immediately assume it's about you. Take a deep breath and detach emotionally. Remind yourself of your worth. Your value does not decrease because someone fails to see it. Develop a mindset of non-attachment. Think of their words as noise. Just because they say something doesn't mean it's true or relevant to your life. 6. Use assertive body language. Command respect without saying a word. How you carry yourself shapes how others perceive and treat you. Before you even speak, your body language has already sent a message about your confidence, self-worth, and presence. Many people unknowingly invite disrespect by displaying submissive or uncertain body language. Slouching, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or speaking too softly can make you appear unsure of yourself. And when people sense insecurity, some may exploit it, whether consciously or unconsciously. But the good news? You can shift the way people treat you simply by changing the way you present yourself. Why assertive body language matters. People are wired to respond to nonverbal cues just as much, if not more, than words. If your posture and tone convey confidence, people are less likely to challenge or disrespect you. This isn't about intimidation, it's about projecting self-respect so that others naturally mirror it. How to exude confidence with your body language. Stand tall and take up space. Confidence starts with posture. Keep your shoulders back, chest open, and stand firmly. When you take up space instead of shrinking yourself, you send a subconscious signal: I belong here. I am worthy of respect. Maintain strong eye contact. Looking away or avoiding eye contact can make you appear uncertain or weak. Instead, maintain steady, but not overly intense, eye contact when speaking and listening. This shows that you are engaged, assertive, and in control of the interaction. Speak clearly and with conviction. The way you use your voice influences how others perceive you. Speaking too softly or with hesitation weakens your message. Instead, slow down, enunciate, and use a confident tone. Even if you don't feel confident, speaking this way tricks your brain into believing you are. Use purposeful gestures, avoid nervous fidgeting. Instead, use deliberate and controlled hand gestures to emphasize points and appear more authoritative. Control your facial expressions. Smiling too much, especially in serious conversations, can make you seem overly eager to please. Instead, keep a neutral but engaged facial expression to show composure. 7. Call them out. When necessary, speak up and set the standard. Sometimes, silence isn't enough. Some people test your limits repeatedly, assuming they can continue treating you poorly without consequences. If someone continually disrespects you, the best response is to address it directly and assertively. Many people hesitate to speak up because they fear confrontation, but here's the truth: if you don't call out disrespect, you're silently agreeing to it. Disrespectful behavior doesn't stop on its own. It stops when you set a clear boundary and make it known that you will not tolerate it. Why speaking up is crucial. It reinforces your boundaries. If someone disrespects you and you stay silent, they assume their behavior is acceptable. But when you call it out, you reset the dynamic and send a strong message. I respect myself, and I expect you to do the same. It shifts the power dynamic. Disrespect is often a power play. People push boundaries to see what they can get away with. The moment you speak up, you take back control and force them to acknowledge their behavior. It teaches people how to treat you. When you assertively call out disrespect, you set a new standard for how people interact with you. Those who respect you will adjust their behavior. Those who don't will naturally distance themselves, which is a win for you. How to call someone out without being aggressive. Be direct but calm. Instead of reacting emotionally, use clear and composed statements. I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. Please don't interrupt me when I'm talking. I expect to be treated with respect, just as I treat others. Use a firm tone. How you say something is just as important as what you say. Avoid apologetic or hesitant phrasing. Be confident. Hold your ground. If they dismiss or downplay your concerns, don't backpedal. Repeat your boundary if necessary and make it clear that you mean what you say. 8. Walk away when necessary. Choose yourself over toxicity. Sometimes, the most powerful response to disrespect is no response at all. Not because you're weak. Not because you're giving up. But because you've realized something crucial: your time, energy, and peace of mind are too valuable to waste on people who don't respect you. Many people believe they must win every argument, or prove their worth to those who mistreat them. But here's the truth: walking away is not losing. It's choosing yourself. Why walking away is a sign of strength. Disrespect should not be negotiated. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, despite your efforts to set boundaries, communicate clearly, and address the issue, they have already made their choice. You don't need to stay and fight for respect that should be given freely. Your mental and emotional health comes first. Toxic relationships, whether with a friend, colleague, or even family member, can drain your energy and erode your self-worth over time. No relationship is worth sacrificing your inner peace. The longer you tolerate disrespect, the more you teach yourself that it's acceptable. It's not. Some people will never change. You cannot force someone to respect you. Respect is a reflection of their values, not your worth. If they refuse to change, the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself from the situation entirely. How to walk away with confidence. No explanations needed. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing yourself. Sometimes, the best way to leave a toxic situation is silently, and without drama. Let your absence speak for itself. Detach without guilt. Many people feel guilty for cutting ties, especially with longtime friends or family. But remind yourself, choosing peace over toxicity is not selfish, it's necessary. Recognize when enough is enough. If you've repeatedly given someone the opportunity to treat you with respect and they refuse, it's time to stop investing in a relationship that only drains you. 9. Surround yourself with supportive people. Build a circle that elevates you. Who you spend time with shapes how you think, how you feel, and ultimately, who you become. The people around you either uplift and encourage you or drain and undermine you. If you constantly find yourself surrounded by negativity, disrespect, or toxic energy, it's time to reassess your circle. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This means your confidence, mindset, and even your level of success are directly influenced by your closest relationships. If you want to be strong, confident, and respected, you need to be around people who reflect those values. Why your circle matters. Supportive people reinforce your self-worth. When you're around people who genuinely respect and appreciate you, you naturally develop a stronger sense of self-worth. They remind you of your value, challenge you to grow, and help you see your own potential. Negativity is contagious. So is positivity. Just as being around toxic, disrespectful people can chip away at your confidence, surrounding yourself with uplifting and encouraging individuals can boost your mindset and energy. Choose wisely. Your environment shapes your expectations. If everyone around you settles for disrespect, mistreatment, or mediocrity, you may unconsciously do the same. But if you surround yourself with people who have high standards, who expect respect and success, you will naturally rise to meet those standards. How to build a strong, supportive circle. Evaluate your current relationships. Take a moment to reflect. Do the people around you uplift you or drain you? Do they encourage your growth or hold you back? Seek out growth-oriented individuals. Find friends, mentors, and colleagues who inspire you. Look for people who push you to be better and treat you with the respect you deserve. Limit exposure to toxic people. If someone consistently belittles, disrespects, or undermines you, distance yourself. Protect your mental and emotional well-being. 10. Know your worth and stay true to yourself, the foundation of self-respect. At the core of every interaction you have with others lies one simple truth: you teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you respect yourself, you set a high standard for how others must engage with you. If you doubt your worth, tolerate mistreatment, or seek validation from the wrong places, you open the door for disrespect. Self-respect starts from within. Many people believe that respect is something you must earn from others. But in reality, respect starts as an internal decision. The way you see yourself dictates how others see you. If you carry yourself with dignity, confidence, and unwavering self-worth, people will recognize and mirror that energy. When you know your worth, you stop tolerating toxic relationships. You walk away from situations that drain you. You don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You hold your ground even when it's difficult. The moment you choose self-respect over external approval, you become unshakable. Why your self-worth matters. People treat you based on what you accept. If you allow disrespect, people will assume it's okay. But if you consistently reinforce your standards, they will adjust or leave. Either way, you win. You set the tone for every relationship. The way you value yourself influences every aspect of your life, from friendships to career opportunities. When you believe you deserve better, you start attracting better. Self-respect eliminates the need for validation. Seeking constant validation from others puts you in a vulnerable position. When you deeply understand your own worth, you stop depending on external approval to feel valued. How to stay true to yourself. Affirm your worth daily. Say it out loud. I deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. Let this belief guide every decision you make. Set standards and stick to them. If someone consistently disrespects you, make it clear that you will not tolerate that behavior. If they don't change, distance yourself. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. Some people won't understand your worth because they don't even recognize their own. Handling disrespect isn't easy, but remember, you teach people how to treat you. Set boundaries, stand firm, and never lower your standards for someone who refuses to rise to your level. If you found these insights helpful, share this video with someone who needs it. And let's keep building a community of confidence, self-respect, and personal growth. Stay strong. Stay true to yourself. And remember, respect starts from within.